I think everyone's running late, so that could be to our benefit, but just want to be transparent with you guys.
Just keep it to 2.
Yeah, keep it to
Questions.
2 and then let someone else go, and then if
Sure.
we get to the end and you have more, we can go through it.
Yeah, I can lead us off. Is
Curtis,
everybody
you
good
get
to go?
started.
Yeah.
Yep, go for it.
All right. Well, Biaggio, we're here, fight week. It's
Yes, sir.
great to talk to you again. We
too.
just spoke a few weeks ago, man. Just kind of talk to me a little bit about like how have you developed your mind to deal with the added spotlight of being on a main card and all that, and just kind of the journey you've been on, man.
Yeah, what helps me a lot is just going back to my faith. You know, I was born Muslim, I grew up Muslim, my grandfather was Muslim, and I feel like just recently I've been getting a lot closer to my faith. I've been reading the Quran every day, and it keeps me very grounded because it lets me know what's really important. You know, the lights, the camera, the fame, money, that's not what's really important. You know, I want to go to a good place when I die. So I think having a great relationship with God and loving and doing good deeds and being kind to your neighbor is what's really important. So, and that's what my grandfather did, you know, and that's what inspired me most about him. Not just him as a fighter, but who he was as a person. So knowing that is what keeps me very grounded and just knowing what's really important.
Last question for me. We spoke a few weeks ago. Obviously, you're known for your striking, right, and your boxing background and all that. But I know the work you put in Extreme Couture. You're working on your grappling, and you just haven't had the chance to show it off yet. Is that kind of a chip on your shoulder to prove to the critics that hey, like I can do it all?
Yeah,
I'm a well-rounded guy.
It depends on the day. Like some days it's a chip on my shoulder, and some days it's like, well, I'm in MMA. There's always going to be an opportunity to grapple and wrestle. So yeah, I think sometimes it depends on my mood and what I'm thinking at the moment.
Thank you.
Yep.
Biaggio, you know, normally amateurs keeping it regional, maybe a little spaced out. You get to travel and you're kind of on a schedule with PFL. How do you like this kind of, I'll say, accelerated development because of the name and everything else that you bring?
I think it's great. You know, if anyone were to say no to this opportunity, they would be stupid. You know, this is just preparing me for my pro career. You know, I'm an amateur. I'm still learning. I'm only 24 years old, and I'm fighting on ESPN. I'm fighting on the PFL. I'm getting a lot of media, a lot of stuff. So, and I think it's just a great opportunity, and it's only going to help me and benefit me. You know, it depends on how I handle it. So I'm hoping that I'm handling it well.
And then, you know, not to get too far ahead, but what is your plan about when you feel you would like to go pro and you feel like you're ready for that step?
I have no idea. I want to get 4 fights this year. You know, I want to be as active as possible, and so far so good. You know, I fought in April. I'm fighting in June. I'd like to fight in August. You know, God willing, I come out injury free. And November, you know, get 4 fights this year. Sit down with my coach, see what he thinks is the next best step, and then listen to him.
Happy Wednesday, man.
Thank you.
You're 24. At this point in time, what would you say is your why? Why are you fighting?
I fight so that I can help people. That's kind of ironic too, because I'm beating people up. But I fight to help people. You know, I fight so that I can one day become a champion. You know, in the PFL, if you become a champion, you win the belt and you win $1 million. And I think $1 million is enough money to help a lot of people. So I just want to be able to give back and inspire people the way that my grandfather inspired me. And I think that that's what's most important. I just want to get to heaven when I die. That's the main goal.
Everybody doesn't have a famous last name like Ali, man. Could you just talk about like the pros and quite possibly the cons of having to walk around with such a heavy weight in that name?
I think the pros is you have such a inspirational figure, almost like a superhero kind of person, and you're related to that person. You know, his blood runs through my blood, and I think that that's a huge pro. I think another big pro is getting the opportunities that I've been given, getting the exposure. That's a huge pro. But like you said, you know, there's cons as well. There's pressure. There's a huge target on my back just because of my name, just because of my existence. People are gonna, when I fight people, they're gonna try their best to hurt Muhammad Ali's grandson. So with that comes pressure as well, and I think that that's one of the cons. But what's more important is how you deal with the cons.
Indeed. My final question, man. Your opponent, Travell Miller, he's also a amateur fighter. He's based here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
You're essentially fighting in his backyard. What do you know about him, and what are you expecting from him?
I know he's got like a kickboxing background. I think he's 3-2 right now, and yeah, I've seen his last fight. Did some film watching. I don't know what to expect from him. You know, I never know what to expect from a fight. I always think something, but you got to be open to any kind of outcome. So, yeah, that's all I know about him.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Over here, so you mentioned there about wanting to like give back, and you know, eventually when you're a pro and when you're the PFL champion, giving that you know that $1 million. Is that kind of something that was instilled in you, like, you know, because your family, I'm sure, weren't like necessarily wanting for money when you were younger. Is that something that you were always kind of pushed towards? And it's obviously something that was your grandfather was pretty passionate about.
Yes, 1,000%. You know, I think a lot of it has to do with just looking up to my grandfather and what he did. You know, he was the people's champ for a reason. So many people loved him for a reason, and that was because he was such a loving essence. He gave back to people. He stood up for his people. He had just such confidence and conviction and ambition and drive, and he was an inspiration to me since I was born. And as I got older, I started to discover more and more about him and learn more about the impact that he made on this world. So yeah, I think that was instilled in me since I was a little kid.
Your brother as well, Nico, obviously tough night out last time for him. Has he been feeling? Has he been sort of reacting to that result?
He was a little upset because I believe he won the fight. He believes he won the fight. The judges that night were a little blind, I think. But I told him, I said, you know, hey, it's not a loss. The only thing you can take from this is just learn. Next time, you know, not to give it to the judges. So, yeah, the fighting journey is also a learning journey.
Just here, you mentioned there about Nico's result. You actually lost your first amateur bout,
Yep.
which for anyone else would just be a regular thing and you just move on to the next one. But because of the name and because of like what people might have thought about it, how tough was that to get over, and how did you cope with that?
I think I handled it pretty well, actually. I lost. I didn't want to lose, but right after I wanted to fight again. You know, it kind of like lit a fire in me, losing. And yeah, I just usually after a loss, you're discouraged, which is normal, and I was discouraged, but I wanted to get right after it after.
Yeah. Did you feel like that's kind of the only lesson that you could only really get from a loss? Because they say you learn more from your losses than your wins. Is that something you felt like you could only have felt for a defeat?
Yeah, I think you do learn more from your losses from your wins. You know, you can also learn a lot from your wins. I'm on a 3-fight win streak right now. I've learned a lot from my wins, even though I won. You know, I don't just sit down and pat myself on the back after I win. You know, I look at what I did wrong in the fight. And I'm just looking to improve each and every time and become a better fighter.
Right over here.
Just one quick one. You mentioned doing good and helping the community. Are there any particular organizations or avenues that you're pursuing currently to do those things and help out, or what do you?
Not right now, no. Sunday I did. I was gonna go with one of my friends, but he slept in. so I actually called one of my teammates, Nicholas Mota. He's fighting this weekend in the UFC. He's an up-and-coming lightweight. And we went to the Dollar Tree. We got like 20 bags with some snacks, some water, some soap, toothpaste, toothbrush. And we just put together like 20 bags and just drove around downtown and gave it to people that were on the street homeless. So no, I'm not with an organization right now. I'm kind of just doing it on my own. But yeah, like any way I can give back to people and help somebody, I'm gonna take that opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, any follow-ups?
Just wondering, obviously being from Vegas, last event, I'm assuming a lot of your friends and family were happy you're fighting so local. What was the reaction to hear, like, wait, they're sending you to Atlanta?
Yeah, people were asking me, is it gonna be here in Vegas? And I'm like, no, it's gonna be in Atlanta. And they're like, oh, dang. But I'm like, you could watch it like on ESPN if you want. So, yeah, people do want to keep, you know, especially locals in Vegas, they want to come to the fights because, you know, I want to be an exciting fighter. That's the goal. You know, I don't want to be the bathroom break fight. I want to be the fight where people are saying ooh and ah the entire time. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You did say you were talking about your brother there. I mean, obviously he feels he won that last fight.
Mhm.
Do you guys kind of view though the fact that it didn't go your way as a win with the judges? Do you kind of view it almost as a loss in that sense?
Kind of, but by the numbers, no, because it's not. You know, it doesn't come up as a loss on the record. So that's what I was telling my brother as well. You know, like even though he might feel like he did lose because the judges gave it a split draw, it wasn't. So yeah, it's kind of an illusion to think that you're lying. And this is just what I was telling my brother.
People kind of delight in the results not going your guys' way, don't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, with the pros and cons, that's one of the cons is people, they want to see you fall, and that's okay because I'm gonna just keep standing.
All right, guys, that's all we've got time for.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.